Good morning children. Today we are going to learn the while loop. We will basically learn how to extract digits using the while loop, right? So over here children, now as you can see that we had already learned the basics of while loop, and we know when the while loop runs, right? So for this we will learn how to extract the digits today, and we will be doing various programs based on this. So let's start. So over here, for extracting a digit, first of all we require a number. So let's say I have taken a number as 1693, and extracting digit means I want to extract 3, 9, 6 and 1. So there are various methods to do so, and we are doing the simplest of all. So like over here we are done while n is not equal to 0. After we have entered the number, we are going to check whether the condition is not equal to 0. The number entered should not be equal to 0, and here I have taken c is equal to n percentage 10. Now what will this do? This will take out the remainder. When it takes out the remainder, so 1693 divided by 10 gives you the remainder as 3. So 3 is extracted. So 3 is the last digit which is extracted, and I say n is equal to n divided by 10. Now why I have done this? In order to continue the while loop, I have written n is equal to n divided by 10, because for the while loop to continue, it requires either a number again to be input inside, or I need to increment or decrement the value. So here I am decrementing the value, but I am using n is equal to n divided by 10. So now n becomes 169. So after 169 is calculated, it goes up again and it checks, is 169 not equal to 0? If it is not equal to 0, this will continue. Now over here in this case 9 will be extracted and n will become again 16. Again it goes up. Is it equal to 0? Condition is false. So if the condition is true, it is not equal to 0. So over here it will again extract 6, and now n will become 1. Now when n becomes 1, it goes up, it checks again, is 1 not equal to 0? Condition is true. So 1 is not equal to 0. So again it calculates this c, which is 1, and now n becomes 0. Now again it will go up. It will go up again and it will check, is 0 not equal to 0? The condition is false in this case. So it comes out of the loop. So over here, this is a dry run part which I have shown you, and this is the output, actual output. I have entered a number and it says the digits are C. So first in this case is 3, then 9, then 6, then 1. Children, once the digits have been extracted, we can do anything with these digits. We can add them up, we can find the square, we can calculate the you can multiply all the digits, you can calculate the sum of all the digits. So this is how we do it once the digits have been extracted. So let's see few of the programs based on this. Now over here, this is the program wherein you have to reverse the digits. That means if I have entered a number as 5678, the reverse number should be printed 8765. Now how we have done it? I have entered a number and I have taken again the same loop wherein I have taken while n percentage n is not equal to 0, and I have taken c is equal to n percentage 10. Now this is the number. I am saying c is equal to n percentage 10. 5678 divided by 10 will give you the remainder as 8. Now in this case children, I am saying n is equal to n divided by 10, n becomes 567, and I am saying r is equal to r into 10. So what is the initial value of r? 0. So 0 into 10 is what? 0 plus c. What is c? 8. So r becomes 8 now. Okay. So 567 is again checked for this condition. The condition is true. It again calculates this remainder. Now over here, how r is calculated? Again r into 10. The initial value of r was now 8. 8 into 10 plus 7, that is 87. So now n is become 56, because we are saying 567 divided by 10. So in the same way it continues. Let's see for the last value when when over here n becomes 5. So when n becomes 5 children, it goes up again. Is 5 not equal to 0? The condition is true. So when the condition becomes true, it calculates c. C is 5 over here. Now the initial value of r is what? 876. So 876 into 10 is what? 8760 plus 5, that is 8765, and it says n is equal to 0. So when it goes up again, it checks for the value of n. Is 0 not equal to 0? The condition becomes false. So when the condition becomes false, the program, it comes out of the while loop and it prints whatever is after the while loop, which is written, the reverse number is r. So the reverse number would be printed. So this is a dry run of the number which I have entered, and this is the output of the program. Let's see another question. So over here, children, this is a buzz number. Now what is a buzz number? First you have to understand that a number is said to be a buzz number if it ends with 7. That means, for example, let's say I have a number as 57. 57 is a buzz number because it ends with 7, right? Sum of the digits is 7. Sum of the digits is 7. Let's say this number 1 2 3 1. So 1 plus 2 is 3, 3 plus 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. So 1 2 3 1 is a buzz number because its sum of the digits is 7. Or is divisible by 7. Let's say 35. 35 is a buzz number because it is divisible by 7. In the same way, 2, 3, 4, 5 is also a buzz number because it is divisible by 7. 43 is a buzz number because its sum of the digits is 7. This is not a buzz number because over here the sum of the either of the condition is not true. So neither this is true, neither this is true, neither this is true, right? So over here, this is not a buzz number. When I am saying enter a number, 6 is also not satisfying any of the conditions. So 6 is also not a buzz number, and 33 as well is not a buzz number because it is not satisfying any of the conditions, right? So let's understand the program. First, now we have understood what is a buzz number, let's understand the program. I have entered a number. Now in order for the buzz number to be checked, see, this is very easy. If it ends with 7, that can be trapped by this condition. M percentage 10 equal to 7 will be giving us the last remainder, last digit. If the last digit is 7, so then it is a buzz number. So when I am saying if it ends with 7, this is the condition, okay? And I am saying sum of the digits. Sum of the digits for the sum of the digits, I need to have this while loop. So that is the reason why I have taken this while loop. So while n is not equal to 0, c is equal to n percentage 10, s is equal to s plus c, and n is equal to n divided. Once the digit has been extracted, I am adding them up. So once I add them up, I will have a final value of s in the end. So if that s is equal to 7, then or m percentage 10. Now why I have taken this m, why not n? Because the original value of n is lost after the while loop, because when we saw it in the dry run in the previous programs, that n becomes 0, right? So I have to avoid that, I have stored the original value of n into m. In order to retain the value of original value, I have stored it into a variable, and I have used that variable over here with the divisibility by 10 in order to have the last digit as 7. Now over here I am checking for the divisibility. So if either of these conditions is true, then m is a buzz number, otherwise m is not a buzz number. Okay, so let's move further with the program. Now over here we have a palindrome question. Palindrome. What is a palindrome? First of all, you should understand this. So palindrome is a number which actually calculates, which when reversed gives you the same number. For example, 161. So when we reverse the number, then the number comes to be 161. So both the numbers are the same. So if both the numbers are the same, then it is a palindrome. Otherwise, it is not a palindrome. For that, we need to just reverse the number. Once the digits are reversed, we need to check if r is equal to original number. So original number has been retained in the value m, and this loop is basically for extracting the digits. Once the digits are extracted and reversed, so the reverse number is stored in the variable r. So if r is equal to m, it is a palindrome, otherwise it is not a palindrome. Here I have taken two outputs. One is with the number as 6463 and the other is with the number as 646. So if 6463 if we reverse it, the number would be 3646. So which is not a palindrome, okay? And when I'm talking about 646, then it is a palindrome. Why? Because if we reverse it, then also the same number comes. Okay, let's move to the next question. Okay, let's understand what is a duck number. Now it says that a number is a duck number if which has zeros present in it. For example, 3210, 8050, 896, 7079 are all 709 are all duck numbers. Please note that the numbers with only leading zeros is not considered as duck number. That means we cannot have a number as 035. That is not a duck number. 0012, it is not a duck number. Okay, but if I have another number inside the number, like a number like 01203 is considered as duck because there is a non-leading zero present in it. So this zero is a non-leading zero. So over here this number is considered as a duck number. Okay, let's do the question, understand the program for this. So children, over here I have taken various outputs, and over here I have input the value of C also, in order to make you understand what a duck number is. Okay, so children, over here I have entered a number, I have retained the original value of n, and when I am saying C is equal to n percentage 10, so in that case I am actually calculating I am extracting the last digit. So once the last digit has been extracted, I am printing that last digit over here, so that you get to know that what will happen. See, I need not check for all the numbers till the end. Let's say I encounter a 0 in the beginning, then do I need to go further? No. So that is why I have made a check over here. If C equal to 0, I am saying break. When it encounters a 0, it breaks out of this while loop, comes here and checks. If C is equal to 0, then it says it is a duck number, else it says it is not a duck number. Now we will and then if it is not equal to 0, then the loop will continue and n would be again decreased, and in the same way now 3 to 1 would be checked, the rest of the number would be checked for the duck number. Or if 6 is extracted and it is not equal to 0, so the rest of the number 805089 would be checked for the duck number, and so on. Okay, so children, over here I have entered a number as 69807. Now it starts extracting the digit. So first digit is 7. The moment 7 is encountered, it will check, is C equal to 0? It is not equal to 0, so it will reduce. It will go up, and now 6980 would be checked for the same condition, and the loop will continue. Now over here C becomes 0. The moment C becomes 0, it checks C is equal to 0. Yes, the condition is true. So it will break and it will print that it is a duck number because C is 0. Let's take another example, 700. Now over here children, the last digit is 0, so it is encountered in the first go. So it will not check for the rest of the number. Here also, if you notice that 7 was checked, 0 was checked, 698 was not checked. Okay, so the digits are not extracted because it has breaked out and it has come out of the loop. Now in the same manner, let's take this number as 90876. See children, 6 is extracted, it is checked, nothing has happened because it didn't encounter a 0. Then 7 is checked, then 8 is checked, then 0 is checked. Now after 0 is checked, it has it encounters this break and it breaks the loop and it checks here and it prints it is a duck number. Let's see this 987. It is not containing any 0 in this. Okay, so if I say digit is 7, nothing will happen. Digit is 8, nothing will happen. Digit is 9, nothing will happen. So it actually keeps on doing it till this condition is false. So once this condition becomes false, nothing would be printed and this condition will be checked. So this is, it says it has not encountered a 0. C's original value is still 1. So it prints M is not a duck number. If you might have noticed, I have taken this C equal to 1 purposely because I have to check C equal to 0. So if C is not equal to 0, that means it is equal to 1 only, it remains 1. So if it remains 1, it is not a duck number. This question can be done in many ways. So this is the simplest form of doing this. So that is why I have taken this. Now let's move to the next question. The next question says it checks for an automorphic number. So let's say let's understand what an automorphic number is first. An automorphic number is a number whose square ends in the same digits as the number itself. Now over here children, 5 square is what? 25. 6 square is what? 36. So is the number present in the last digit of the square? Yes. 5 is the last digit of 25. 6 is the last digit of 36. If I say 76 square, it gives you the number as 5776. So 76 is present in the last digit. 890625, the number is this much big. Okay, so 890625 is present in the end of the square. So these all numbers are automorphic numbers. Okay, so over here for the automorphic number, first thing I need to input a number, second thing I need to have a square. So children, here the thing or the catch which is to be done is that you have to actually check if C is equal to n percentage 10. I am counting the number of digits. Why I am counting the number of digits? Because I want that numbers, the square of the number should be divided by the number by 10 raised to power the count of digits. For example, 25 should be divided by 10 in order to get the remainder as 5. 36 should be divided by 10 because it is a 2-digit number. If I talk about 76, it should be divided by 100 in order to get 76 as the remainder. Now this would be divided by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So in this case, it should be divided by 10 raised to power 6 in order to get the remainder as 890625. So in order to trap the remainder, we are actually counting these digits. So once we have counted the digits, we are simply saying square, that is the square which is the original number 25, percentage means it is used to trap the remainder, and I am saying math.pow. Now pow functions actually gives you the power of that number. So 10 raised to power 1 would be 10, 10 raised to power 2 would be 100, 10 raised to power 3 would be 1000 and so on. Okay, so over here this will actually store the value, the extracted value. Okay, the original number will come back and be stored in the variable, in the variable p. So these are all the values which I am printing in order for you to make you understand. Otherwise, if you don't want to print it, you can overdo with this and just simply come and check if p is equal to m. Now p is containing the original value and m is the original number. So m is an automorphic number if both the values are equal after extracting. Otherwise, it is not an automorphic number. Now let's understand the basics why I have written these values. So over here I am counting the number of digits. See, if I see this example, I have written 25. Now the number of digits in this is the value of n keeps on decreasing, that is n is equal to n divided by 10. First n becomes 2, then n becomes 0, and the number of digits is 2. So square of 25 is 625. The power of the number which has to be this number has to be divided is 100. Why? Because 10 raised to power 2 is 100. Value after extracting remainder from square is 25. So this is the value p. P is the value after extracting remainder from the square. So what was p? Basically square. Square is what? 625 percentage 100. It will give you 25. So 25 is actually compared with the value 25 and it says that it is an automorphic number because the condition is true. The same goes for 36 because over here the square is 36 is not an automorphic number. Why? I'll explain it to you. Over here the value of n is what? First 3, then n becomes 0. The number of digits is 2. The square is 1296, but the value 36 is not present in the last 2 digits. here 1296 is also divided by 100. Why? Because I am saying it has to be divided by math.pow 10 raised to power count. What is count? 2. So 1296, if I divide by 100, the remainder would be 96. This 96 is being compared with 36. So if the values are not equal, then it will print not automorphic number. Let's see it with the value 6. Over here I am saying number of digits is 1. Square is what? 36. Power is what? 10. So after the power is 10, it will give you the value after extracting remainder is 6, and 6 is an automorphic number because 6 would be equal to 6. Now here I have taken a 3-digit number. When I take this 3-digit number, first the number of digits is calculated, so it is 3. The square of the number is of 234 is 54756, and now the power is 1000. Why? Because it says 10 raised to power count. Count is what? 3. So if the count is 3, so 10 raised to power 3 is what? 1000. So this number 54756 is divided by 1000 and the remainder is trapped. So the remainder comes to be 756. So if I talk about 756, it is not equal to 234. So this is not an automorphic number. Now there's one more program over here. That is I think the last one. So this is an Armstrong number. So children, first you should understand what is an Armstrong number. Let's say I have a number as 153. Now 153, how many digits 153 has? It has 3 digits. So in that case, if I say 3 raised to power 3 plus 5 raised to power 3 plus 1 raised to power 3, if it is equal to 153, then it is an Armstrong number. Otherwise, it is not an Armstrong number. Let's see. 3 raised to power 3 is what? 9. 5 raised to power 3 is what? 125. So, sorry, 3 raised to power 3 is 27. 5 raised to power 3 is 125 and 1 raised to power 3 is 1. So, 1 plus 125 plus 27, that is equal to 153. So, that is why 153 is an Armstrong number. Now, in this case, let's consider this. Now, over here, for how many digits it has? 1634. That means 4 digits we have. So over here I will keep on, I'll keep on extracting the number and raising it to the number of digits it has, the original number has. So 4 raised to power 4 plus 3 raised to power 4 plus 6 raised to power 4 plus 1 will give you what? The original number 1634. That is why it is an Armstrong number. Let's talk about 4 raised to power 4. So 4 raised to power 4 is 256. 3 raised to power 4 is 81. 6 raised to power 4 is 1296. So and 1. So if we add 256 plus 81 plus 1296 plus 1, it comes to 1634, which is an Armstrong number again. In the same way it goes for this. So let's see and look into the program. So that is for sure that we have to count the number of digits. So the first for loop over here, the first while loop extracts the number of digits, and here children I have done this temp is equal to n. This is to retain the original value of n, and again I am saying n is equal to temp. Why? I don't want to take another variable over here. Otherwise, in the end original value, if I start with temp, then the original value of n is lost here and temp would be lost here after this loop. So in order to avoid that, I have again stored the original value into the lost value of n, which was 0 now after this loop has ended. And here again the loop is being run the same for the same condition. Here I am taking n is greater than 0. So if I take n is greater than 0, or I take n percentage 10 equal to 0, it is 1 and the same thing, because it will not be equal to 0 in that case also and in this case also, right? So a is equal to n percentage 10. Again the digits are extracted, and again whenever the digit is extracted, I am actually raising it to the power of the count of digits. So if I am talking about 4 is extracted, 4 raised to power 4, then 3 raised to power 4, then 6 raised to power 4, then 1 raised to power 4, and so on. If I am talking about this, 1 raised to power 3, because in this case the number of digits is 3. In this case the number of digits is 3. In this case the number of digits is 3. So if I am talking about this, this or this, all the three, in all the three examples the number of digits would be 3. So math.pow, a is the digit extracted, raised to power the number of digits. So in that case it will keep on adding and it will keep on storing the sum in S. So in the end I will have the total sum, like 4 raised to power 4 plus 3 raised to power 4 plus 6 raised to power 4 plus 1 raised to power 4, and in this case 1 cube plus 7 cube plus 3 cube. So in that case the last value would be stored in the variable S. Now this S is compared with the original value which the temp is storing, and if it is equal then it is an Armstrong number, otherwise it is not an Armstrong number. So children, that was all for today. And as far as worksheet is concerned, I will be sending you the worksheet as a PDF, and I want you to do that. And if you like my video, kindly click on the like button and subscribe to my channel and click on the bell icon. And if you have any kind of doubts, you can write to me in the comment section and I'll definitely reply to it. So thank you children, and have a great day ahead.